This is a video lesson for day 2 of applications for solving rational functions. We did distance, rate, time problems yesterday. We're going to do some work problems today. So work is the same thing as distance. How far you can go in distance is determined by how fast you're going, the velocity or speed or rate, times how long you travel. That tells you how far you can go. It also tells you how much you can work. How much work can be done depends on how fast you work and how much time you spend working. So work equals rate times time. Rate is like speed. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this first example. It says Bill can finish a report in 2 hours. Maria can finish the same report in 4 hours. How long will it take them to finish the report if they work together? So we're not going to use work equals rate times time. Just like yesterday, we're going to rearrange this because the thing we don't know is the rate. We know work, we know time. So we're going to solve this equation for rate. And so we would divide by time. So rate equals work divided by time. Now again, how do I know that I need to solve for rate? Because I know what work needs to be done. One report is the work that needs done. I know how much time it takes them. Since I know work and time, rate is the thing that I don't know. So that's what I'm going to use to relate these together. So rate equals work divided by time, one report divided by how much time. So we're going to use a little chart here. And we're going to lay it out for Bill, Maria, and them working together. Each situation has to do the same amount of work, one report. We put the time over here in the right-hand column. It takes 2 hours for Bill, 4 for Maria. Together, we don't know. That's what we were asked to find. So rate would be work divided by time. So 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. 1 divided by t is 1 over t. So we have this equation, 1/2 plus 1/4 equals 1 over t. I would multiply by the common denominator, which would be 4t, because 2 and 4 share a common denominator of 4. So when I multiply by 4t, half of 4 is 2t, a fourth of 4 is 1t. Here the t's would cancel and I would just get 4. So we're starting with a very simple example to begin with. Add these together, gets 3t divided by 4, or divide 4 by 3, and the time is 4/3. So it would take them an hour and 1/3 of an hour, or an hour and 20 minutes to complete the report together. Now again, that's a very simple one. We're going to get a little more complicated here. What we see here is that Laia takes 7 more hours to paint a kitchen than it takes Hank to paint the same kitchen, or do the exact same job. Together, they can complete the same job in 12 hours. So I know working together how long it would take them. How long does it take Hank by himself to work alone to paint the kitchen? So again, we're going to set up a chart. How much work needs done? One kitchen. This isn't always one. Typically for us, I think your practice problems are all one. But that could be anything. It could be that you have to complete, 7 rooms of painting, or 15 reports. It can be any number there, but I think mostly we're sticking with just one. And then H is the number of hours. I don't know how long it takes Hank. That's what they asked us to do. Working alone, how long does it take Hank? I do know that Laia takes 7 more hours, so that's H plus 7. And I know together they take 12. So how would those rates work? Well, again, the rate is work divided by time, one kitchen divided by how much time. So we're going to take one kitchen for Hank divided by H, his unknown time. Laia is 1 divided by H plus 7, her unknown time. And together we know it takes them 12 hours, so 1 over 12. So since the rates add together, Hank's rate plus Laia's rate has to equal the total rate of 1 over 12. So my common denominator is going to be 12, and H, and an H plus 7. Again, these H's cannot be shared because this is not an H, it's an H plus 7 as a quantity. So H and H plus 7 separately need to be your common denominator. So we're going to multiply each term by that common denominator. In the first term, it's the H that cancels. So I'd be left with 12 times H plus 7 times 1, which we don't really need to write. Here in the second one, it's the H plus 7 that cancels. So it's 12H times 1. Here the 12's cancel, so it's H times H plus 7 times 1. And again, times 1, we don't need to write that. So we're going to distribute now. 12H plus 84 plus 12H, H squared, and H times 7 or 7H. Combine the 12h's together gives 24h. This is a quadratic, so I need to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 24 over and minus the 84 over. Gives me h squared minus 17h minus 84. Factors of 84, that would give me 17, are 21 and 4. I need a negative 21 to make minus 17. Watch your signs. So the two answers are negative 4 and 21 when I do the zero product property. So negative 4 can't be the answer. So it takes 21 hours for Hank to do the job by himself, which means, and they didn't ask this, but Laia would be 7 hours longer, or 28 hours to do that job alone. Make sure you get on and do the practice problems. There's a few practice problems, plus I also have a review. There's a test tomorrow, Friday. So you can do the review, and the review questions have answers on them. So you can check them immediately. The review is not required as homework. You can do that for your own practice. You can submit it if you'd like, but the homework for the work problems is required.